Hello, my name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today I want to talk about data privacy and derivative works. So a derivative work is a creation by a company using data that they receive from an individual. So the issue with derivative works, and I can give you an example of this, is that even though the data may have been taken from you originally, the company's created some new data set that you would not ever know about or have access to because it is considered derivative. So, for example, a lot of people, when we think about data privacy laws, especially ones even like the GDPR is very strict, there are exceptions for data transfer and data sharing and data use. If data is either using a pseudonym or if it's anonymized in some way. So that is one way that companies can still utilize data without actually harming in their idea the individual. So an example of derivative works is what Cambridge Analytica had done with the political data they had gathered. So for example, they received data from Facebook nefariously because they used it for a different purpose. But what they did was they took this information about the people that they had on Facebook, their relations, and they created psychological profiles of those people, and then they went in, re-identified the people, and then retargeted them with ads. So the taking of the data from Facebook, especially if it had happened in Europe, this would have been, or was at that point, a violation of GDPR because they were using the data without the person's permission and knowledge that that's how they were using the data. But once they created the derivative work, that information would never ever go back to the individual, and they would not ever know that that was created, because once the data is sanitized in that way, where you take away the personally identifiable information, is no longer considered to be owned by the individual. So I know this is a concerning issue to a lot of people, especially because things like insurance companies or employment agencies or even people who do target you for ads, they're using a lot of these data stores that they create, and a lot of them are combining this information together to get a more fulsome picture of the person. And as I said in the earlier video, it's not very hard to re-identify individuals. So even if a company were to de-identify someone in a data set, it will be very easy for them to re-identify them because people are unique. People don't change a lot. Let's say if you you had a mortgage in a certain neighborhood, you probably would still be there, many years later. Your social security number obviously wouldn't change. Maybe if you had certain ailments, those things wouldn't change. So this data is being collected not only by individual companies that you're working with, but there are other data brokers that collect this information as well. So it remains to be seen how these types of issues will end up happening, especially because re-identification is really prevalent and it is very easy for companies to do, especially those that are really very good at working with data and combining data sets. That's it. Thank you.